Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon slash evening slash Saturday morning Zoom edition. And markets dumped hard yesterday, well below 60K on Bitcoin, below 3,000 on Ethereum. Altcoins massacred. And we got Elmer. Elmer's back. Elmer Fudd. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt over some of the dumpings of some of the players we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Mt. Gox, the German government, got some capitulation by the Bitcoin miners. So just bad, bad, bad all over the place. Let's reluctantly go to the charts. We'll look at my favorite Twitter feed on news. Then we'll go over the market, see what we can do this weekend to make some profitable trades. Share my screen, and here we are on the Bitcoin chart. You guys seeing that okay? Should be my day chart. And I'll assume we're good. I have the Fibonacci retracement drawn in. This is more of an intermediate tool. For those of you brand new, this might be a little over your head, but this is a tool I use to look at potential retracements. And I drew this a little while ago. Started at the 40K level in January, and then up here to the 73, almost 74 area we had in March. A lot of this was created by the approval of the Bitcoin ETF. That may have made things happen a little sooner than we would have expected. It did run up to the halving as well. So, but most of this pump was ETF generated. And when ETF folks saw, it's like, wow, this Bitcoin's really volatile. I don't know if I like that. And maybe they're pulling their funds out. One would think that the managers would educate them a little better, but who knows? But the one thing I wanted to point out here, actually a couple things. One is we had a retracement to the 236 area. Wrong button. 236. And down to the 382. Down to the 0.5. And almost to this 0.618. It wouldn't surprise me if we came down here, say between 53 and 55. Then the 786 is below 50K right here. So these are all on the table. However, most of our Bitcoin dips during the bull run have been like this, in this 20 to 30% range. We dipped as much as 25% from the recent high and then recovered a few percentage of that. So we're right around 21.6 at the moment. And that's normal. There will be 3, 4, 5 of those in any post-halving bull cycle. It's frustrating, but the market makers and the institutions, they're just gonna do what they can to flush out people dabbling in leverage, and people using maybe too tight of stop losses. Which is why I don't like stop losses, though they can be useful in certain circumstances. But I'm in the minority on that. Anyway, so that's my quick review of the Bitcoin chart. On the day chart, on the Ethereum day chart, we have broken the bottom of the range that I drawn in earlier this year. And this may act as resistance. I hope not, but this 3150 area could be tough to break through, or maybe we'll break through easily and then shoot up towards this 4300 level. 4300, as we should have the Ethereum ETF approved, middle July. And then finally, I'm on the Kyle Chassis Twitter feed. He's one of my favorite talking heads to follow. And there's been a poop load of stuff happening the last 24 hours. And here's where he's listing some of the things we talked about last week or two. German government transferred their Bitcoin to an exchange, to presumably to sell it. Mt. Gox did something similar. There were 650 million in liquidations the last 24 hours. These are people trading on leverage, which I do. And unfortunately, a little bit of my lack of success is in here. I've been a better day trader than a swing trader, but we'll talk about that later. I've got some USDC minted on Solana. Solana's held up pretty well, considered most of the altcoins have been crushed, but Solana's up to, I think, 135. So it's one of my swing trades that's doing pretty well. And then there's some other news as well that's not quite as important as these three items. So now that this is starting to happen with Mt. Gox and the German government, hopefully the market adjusts to that, but there will be, large sales of Bitcoin probably for the rest of the summer. We'll see if the market absorbs those. Maybe the ETFs will, or if the prices get low enough, the whales will step in certainly and pick some up. So any questions or comments on the market overall? All right. Well, what do we do with this? Actually, let me, I saw something. Okay. Alan's just saying hello in the chat, and Frank's joined us. Hello, Frank. So let's get back to the charts. And you should be seeing my Altcoin Alert page. All right. I have easy mode off. I'm using the altcoin radar selection. That gives me all the columns. I'm going to sort those, look for a couple trades for this weekend, maybe even tonight. So first thing I'm going to do is reload. Then I'll go over here to the AA score, sort by that, just click on that. I'm looking for values 80 and higher on the AA score. For example, this DFI money that I do trade on occasion, 86.9 score. So AA is telling us there's an 86.9% chance that this will go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. I'm not really interested in trading that at the moment. We'll look at Ondo shortly. And there's some others in here I trade on occasion. KMD. I don't really care for these memes, Bonk and Moog coin and some of those. So I don't look at those very often. Like cat and a dog, what's that? I know AA's added a bunch of coins, including meme coins, to their analysis. I'm not critical of that. I know people like these. It's just not for me. So I'm not going to talk about things I don't do. All right, so let's look at Ondo as both a day trade and a swing trade. This one's on Coinbase if you want to get it there. So I'm on the 15-minute chart. This is my layout for day trading. I've got my support or my resistance and support. I'm using the supply and demand visible range Lux Algo indicator. Okay, you can find indicators here. Drop down, type in supply and demand. And that one comes up here. And then I use the RTI, which is the relative trend index for entries and alerts. I like it when it breaks below the 20, like here, and then breaks back up. Here's an example of that from earlier today. Yeah, in the wee hours, 2:45 a.m. So that broke back up, probably would have gotten in right about here. And we get a nice move up, 5.5%. On my day trades, I'm looking for usually 1 to 2%. And then I'm trading at 10x leverage. So that's a 10 to 20% move for me. If you're new to this and you're not trading leverage yet, that's fine. You shouldn't trade leverage until you're consistently profitable as a spot trader. Yes, that's the word, spot trader. And so that's why I'm looking at this. Ondo is a Coinbase spot trade. Most of the people who watch me are in the US and use Coinbase. So there's an example of what would have been a good trade earlier today. At the moment, we don't have that situation necessarily, but we can encounter it with an alert. So here's the alert I like to set on the RTI. Right click, add an alert, crossing up on the 20. And once per bar close, leaves it on until you turn it off. So I usually do this in the morning and leave it on through most of the day, turn it off in the evening. Alert name, I usually use the information source. So if I type in AA score, it's going to remember this like a database, and then I can just punch in the rest. In the notifications, I'm going to notify an app, show a pop-up on my screen, and play a sound also on my desktop screen. We'll go with Chirpy. There's a few sounds to choose from. And looks good. Click create. And I'm good to go. Now, since I use leverage, I like to trade both directions, longs and shorts. So let's say I want to modify this alert. And I want to add a short option too. So instead of what I've got now, I'm going to enter a channel, 80 on top, 20 on the bottom. And I'm good to go. So when this breaks above 80 and dips back down, let's see if we have an example of that. Hasn't done that in a while. Yeah, over here, back on Monday. Actually, here's a better example. So it broke down here and obviously tumbled significantly, but you could have gotten in this, say at around noon on Monday, and that would have been a great short trade. Coinbase does have some futures trading options, but only for a few specific coins, certainly not Ondo. So really no short option for Ondo on Coinbase. You might be able to, I think you can find it on Bybit. It's a foreign exchange. You'll have to do some maneuvers to trade that if you're an American. So, okay, so that leaves us with a potential long trade on Coinbase. You could also take this trade. You can take it anytime you want, but if it breaks above the 50 with some force, and we get confirmation with this cumulative delta, which is what I use it for, I want to see a hard move up, something like this. That's not what I want. Yeah, move like that is really nice confirmation, and then a break above the 50 can show that the retrace has happened and it's going. But right now, Ondo is just putzing around the 50. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. This isn't very useful. So I don't think I'd take this trade based on the 50, but if it broke down below the 20 and then came back up, then I'd be interested in that trade. So I've got my alert set for that and I'm good to go. Any questions about Ondo as a day trade? All right, so let's say you want to trade this as a swing, hold it up for several days and get a better return. So I'm on a different layout for that. I'm on a 1 hour chart. I'm using the same thing for support and resistance, but I've added a SuperTrend, which is a buy and sell alert based on its perceived trend. Then for confirmation, I'm using this Trendilo LSMA, which is a simple moving average. So we're essentially a go now. Not trading advice or financial advice, but we've got a buy signal. We're coming out of the green zone, the support area, and the LSMA is turned green. So this is a go if you're so inclined. The red zone is, 20% up here. So I'd recommend this area as a potential exit on a short swing trade. And if this duplicates, you're looking at, 3 to 4 days before you're out of this trade. But, if you're in a trade for 3 to 4 days, you make 20%, that's a great trade. So what do we do with this? This is an easy alert to set on the SuperTrend. Right click. And if you want to trade both directions, leave it for direction change. If you're on spot, you're going to select the buy option. Probably just only once. Again, that's an AA score. Notifications. I use a different sound for my swing trades. I'll go with handbell. Click create. And then that alert will show up here. It's got the same title, but it's clearly a different chart and a different indicator. So at the moment, I've got a short-term day trading alert and a longer-term swing trading alert. But the alert I just set for the swing trade will have to go through a little bit of a cycle first, because right now this is pretty good to go. But if I don't take this till the next buy signal happens, and that's reasonable, we're not quite sure we're in the bottom at the moment for Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin affects all the other coins usually. If that dips again, a sell signal would print, and then if it comes back up, another buy signal would print, probably tomorrow or the next day. So if you got in right around here, still looking at 15 to 20% potential profit on a retrace. Okay, any questions on Ondo as a swing trade? All right. Let's do a different sort. That was an AA score. Let's look at social activity. And I like to match these up, social activity with trading activity. And when they match up, I'm usually going to put an alert on that. Got Cream and Zen. Haven't traded Cream in a while. Zen I trade from time to time. Chromia, I've got an alert on that today. Hasn't gone off yet. HNT, I trade occasionally. BCH, I've traded this year. Really hadn't traded it much before that. EGLD, it used to be Elron, now it's Multiverse. This is one I trade from time to time. So you can tell if I put a star on it, that's something I'm probably going to look into. Teller, OP. So these are all coins I like to trade sometimes. At the moment, we will look at Chromia, since I've already put an alert on that one. Okay, on the day chart, yeah, it's been pumping today. But you can see how good these entries are when they break below the 20 and come back up. You see that entry here. And boom, 12%. Probably wouldn't have stayed in that long, but again, another one, boom. 20%, 20%, 8 hours. That's a great day trade. But at the moment, we're up here above the 80. So this alert will go off. I already set this one from this morning. See if I can bring this one up. Edit. Yeah, so that's the alert I have from this morning. Entering a channel, 80 on the top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close. And this is what I'm looking for my 1, 2, 3 dip pump. I talk about the 1, 2, 3 dip on my Monday Zooms, but that's really the first dip and retrace strategy I started trading, and then I've modified it to use this RTI on the 15-minute chart because I think it's easier for alerts. And yeah, so those entries would have been good. The shorts also were good. When it broke above the 80 and came back down, we had this big move from yesterday. And so I'd be looking for another move like this. It's in the red zone now. I look for another dip, try to pick up a quick couple percent on a short, and then have had the RTI dip down here and trigger another long. That probably won't happen till later tonight or tomorrow. Okay, I didn't look at the chat. Alan's asking on the chat, I went to cash position on most of my coins. Is that the thing to do? It is if you want to. Yeah, I mean, being in cash when the market's dipped is a good place to be. Then you're just gonna have to pull the trigger when you see, the entries that you like. And then he's also asking, you set an alert, do you have an auto buy to buy the crypto, or do you review before buying? I review before buying. I do some auto trading based on indicators, but I don't really talk about that on here. But for my manual trading, yeah, I'm going to look at the market overall before I pull the trigger. Even if I see something like this that I like, I really like this setup. Oh shoot, wrong one. Yeah, that's it. Like the setup here, dip below the 20 and then break back up. I'm going to look at the market overall and then probably pull the trigger on this. Had I been trading at 9:45 p.m. I'm usually not trading that late, but if I left this alert on and I could make a trade on my phone, I would jump on this. And yeah, that would be a good one. The trickier ones are, say, the 50s, like this one here, where it breaks above the 50. But I've got really strong confirmation from the cumulative delta. But this happens at 12:15 a.m. I'm probably asleep or in bed, so I probably wouldn't have taken that trade. But assuming it happened during normal business hours, yeah, I might have taken that one. What I don't like is what I'm seeing now on FTM. This is one I've had today. It's just gone. I think we looked at this when we first started. See how it's putzing around the 50? I don't like this. And I've got no confirmation. This is actually this is sort of well, it's not divergence because it's two different indicators, but yeah, this is going sideways and this is drifting down. This is a little bit of divergence between the delta and the candle action on FTM, but so anyway, the Ondo that I showed you I liked. This I don't like, so that's why I evaluate before taking the trade. Okay, I lost track. We were looking at. I think we were looking at Chromia. That's right. So we looked at Chromia as a day trade, I believe. Or did we do that? I don't remember if we did that or not. Whoa, this is weird. Why is this showing up? All right, so one of my other layouts interfered. So I'm gonna have to find the right layout. It's okay. So I've got all my layouts here. Some of my stars, the ones I use the most. And this is the day trading layout, day RTI, 15-minute. That's the one I'm using. And it's opening it in a different window. So I'm gonna get rid of this one and go to Chromia. So I hit a wrong button. It's like my dad trying to work a DVR. But I digress. All right, here's Chromia. That's right. So this one had pumped up above the 80, and I want this to dip down below, maybe take a short on it. And then I want to come down below 20 and take catch that retrace when that happens. And then maybe add a 50 on as well. Okay, so I think we were done with that one. If I'm repeating something, please let me know. Yeah, Chromia's up 10%. A lot of others are down today. Interesting. Okay, so on the 1 hour chart for our swing trade, we are already in the red zone. So I don't like this as a spot trade. You could take it as a short, maybe once the sell prints. So yeah, we often do a short for the weekend. This could be the one. So instead of a super trend buy, we go super trend sell. leave it on once. And this was a social activity sort. And handbell, everything else is the same. So I'm going to set this up as a short that might trade this weekend. As a long, you could do this. It's another FTM straddling the 50. But, let's take a quick look at that. It's peaking up a little more, but I still don't have confirmation on the delta, so I'm not going to take that. All right, back to Chromia. So you could set a buy alert on this, even though it's in the buy zone now. And once it dips, turns into a sell, and then comes back up, then you get in. Maybe that happens around here. And you catch a, I don't know, 7% short-term swing for a couple days. That might be a pretty good trade, but it probably won't dip and then trigger another buy until tomorrow or Sunday. So keep that in mind. Okay, any questions on Chromia? Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Let's look at a long-term sentiment sort. And you can hover over these question marks to get a better description of what these columns are sorting. Long-term sentiments comparing last 24 hours to last 20 days on what people are talking about online. That's what sentiment is referring to. Elder Impulse Daily, this is a trend following, momentum following indicator that Bryce, CryptNation, he likes this one a lot. So what I like to do is sort and then match these up. We don't have many bullish ones now on the Elder Impulse. We have more on the sentiment side. When I see this and there's none on the Elder Impulse, I just sort by the Elder Impulse. And I'm not seeing any match. There's 0 matches. So this is not working out that well. Let's say if Chainlink was bullish on the impulse and bullish on the sentiment, then that's something I'd be interested in. But we don't have any like that. So that's the first time that's happened. Quite a while. Let's look at this. Okay, here's what we can do. We'll sort it for a short, but just because I'm sorting for a short doesn't mean I trade it that way. I when I get something I like on the charts, that's what I trade. So this is because even if Altcoin Alert thinks something is bearish, nothing goes straight up and down. So it might go down because it's bearish, might come up a couple percentage points and go down again. So I have no problem trading some of these against what the information source says. So we have Kasama, bearish and bearish, compound, BCH. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Ethereum, Arweave, Near. So let's look at Kusama. So Kusama's been trending up today, and it's above the 50, but below the 80. So I would probably put in one of my alerts to trade this both ways. And that's like this. It's entering a channel. But for those of you trading spot, you might want to cross up on the 20. Once per bar close, and you know the rest. And that will give you this action here. So, I mean, this alert went off at 2200. When it crossed here, but then it went sideways, didn't really do much. And there was another dip and cross here at about 3 a.m. today. And that was a really nice move. So that one went up, 6-7%. Love that. And then you have a break above the 50 here, but not really confirmed. Actually, this is the one you might have taken because this break here happens. It's confirmed nicely, and then the break actually happens right about here. So I might have gotten in that one. And a little dip and then move up, 2.8%. So on my day trading approach, that would have worked. I would have been profitable on that 50 move, break above the 50 on the RTI. So yeah, you can trade it both directions. If it breaks above the 80 and then dips again, you can short that or wait for it to come below the 20 like we have over here. Or, break below the 50 or break above the 50. Those can be profitable as well. Check your confirmation. So, yeah, I'm thinking of this one more as a short. But again, if you get this dip below the 20, it would be a really good long. Okay, KSM on our swing trading setup layout. Okay, this one dipped pretty hard and is recovering pretty well. Gone a little bit sideways the last few hours. It's not unusual on a Friday afternoon. Volumes tend to be lower on Friday afternoons and the weekends, especially when you have a holiday like we had yesterday in the US. So don't be surprised if you have lower volume, it doesn't do much or drifts down a little bit. So we got the buy signal on KSM that hit, 4 a.m., went up a little bit, 4%, and then we're up maybe 2.4% at the moment. So this would be a pretty good entry. You're coming out of the green zone, the buy's triggered, and you've got the LSMA for confirmation. So if you want to ride this all the way back to the red zone, 17%, if it takes the same amount of time, about 3 days, that's a really good swing trade. Looks like there's some pretty hard resistance here, right around 24, just above $24. Keep that in mind for maybe your exit. So yeah, KSM on a long. On a short, we're kind of close to support. For a short, I'd probably want to see it break this middle zone before I consider this one as a short. And then again, the alerts on the SuperTrend are really easy. You can go trade it both directions with the direction change. For a buy, choose the buy. For a short, choose the sell. Okay, any questions on KSM? Cool. Of course, when I look at Altcoin Alert, I'm usually the ones choosing the coins, but if there's some coins you guys want to look at, with these layouts. All right, the group is quiet today. Let's see. All right, nothing else in the chat. Okay, I'll wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, prefer to see you live, but appreciate that. Check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. And looks like Alan's saying, I've got a lot to learn in terms of alerts. Yeah, you don't have to set alerts if you want to. I just find them more convenient. And once you do it, you get, triggered to a situation, a good setup, you make that trade, you make money off it, you'll be sold on alerts. So yeah, you'll, if you're new to this and you're using TradingView to set up alerts and look at charts, you'll appreciate that function. And actually you'll get annoyed at indicators that are not alert friendly. So, which is how I feel about them. But anyway, the alerts are usually created by other TradingView members for free, so I can't be too upset with them if they don't create something that I prefer to use in the way I want to use it. Okay, I was wrapping this up. You guys have a good holiday and rest of the weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye.